So, Charles Cox, everyone.
Welcome. I've gotten around to say hello to some of you. I want to welcome everybody and thank you for coming tonight. I know sometimes it gets a little challenging whenever there's bolts of lightning coming from Mother Nature and pouring rain. But hopefully that cooled things down a little bit, so when we go out back, it won't be as steamy back there. It's warm. Some other people to introduce. Cassidy, who you just met, and Brandy, actually, she had orientation with some children for school starting, so she wasn't able to be here tonight, unfortunately. Cassidy does basically a similar job up out of San Sebastian for us. San Sebastian's in St. Augustine, our other winery, probably up there, and has put on this entire event for the past couple of days for everything that you'll experience. Our chef partner, Jen Denlinger, you'll meet along the way, who is cooking up some very fantastic foods for us to enjoy. Jeannie Burgess, who is our longest employee, who actually started the company with us in 1983 in Tallahassee, which was Lafayette Winery at that time, and has been our winemaker ever since. Is also our vice president of our company, and just a fantastic person. So, full of knowledge there. Next to her, Zasha, who works alongside of Jeannie and has for
8 years.
8 years now.
And counting, apparently.
On our winemaking team, there's probably about 7 or 8 people that are on our winemaking and production team that we couldn't do all of what we do without. We currently produce about 450,000 gallons worth of wine a year, which actually is a lot of wine. And for that to be happening in Florida, I think is a little shocking to a lot of people. I know I talked to a lot of people in other parts of the country, especially California, that don't believe that we're making this much wine and doing what we do here. But we do, and it's a big part because of people like that. Next to Zasha is Mark Shapiro, who does all of our outside sales, our wholesale, so he's in charge of all of the wines that you might find in your grocery stores and wine shops and whatnot. We've got several of our wholesale partners with RNDC, who is our distribution company, here with us as well. Somewhere Kyle Johnson is probably in advance setting up something. He sets up all of our events here. We do festivals throughout the year, one a month at least, and some as large as 17,000 people in 3 days for our Wine and Seafood Fest, and then some as small as about 1,000 people for an afternoon music series that we do in January and July. So if you ever get a chance to come out to any of those events, go on our website, see what's happening, see who's playing, they're always fun as well. And what you're about to see is a video that tells a little bit about what happens throughout the life of an entire year of winemaking. You can never come out here and see the entire thing at one time. Sometime, for the next probably 20 more days or so. I think we're probably about 10 days into harvest, so it happens for about 30-ish days, where we're kind of nonstop once we start harvesting all the fruit. And it's not only the 80 acres or so that we have planted here, we also contract with growers throughout the state. So some are as small as 10 acres, some are as large as 100 acres. So we purchase their fruit, and we've got additional 450 acres up in the Panhandle. About 125 of it is currently planted, and we've got the ability to add more to those vineyards up there. And so that's usually one of the last ones that we harvest as we make our way through the state. We should be getting a couple of truckloads while we're here tonight, so you'll see us unloading trucks and pressing. Usually there's about 20 tons per truckload, and we can usually run that through our presses pretty quick. So at any time during the night, if you want to ask any of us questions or whatnot, or anything, just pull us aside or get with us, and hope you enjoy your evening. And without further ado, this video is a little bit old, as you'll see in a minute. I look different. We're actually in process. It takes about a year for us to redo this thing, so we're in
been filming, I promise.
Updating it, and so I hope you enjoy it.
Here we go. Don't laugh at the girl. Can't do the on button. Play. Somebody get Kyle.
1,000 gallons. As you walk outside, you'll see the other extreme as you look to the left, some of our 25,000 gallon tanks. So these are 2s, 3s, and mainly 5,000-gallon tanks inside this building where we started. We graduated to 10s and 12,000s and then to 25s, and the next will be 50s. So this is where a lot of the fermentation and storage goes on. We tend to store some of the wine we're going to bottle in the fall inside this building now, and most of our fermentations happen in what we lovingly refer to as the West Wing and the East Wing, which some of you may remember the show The West Wing, and that's where that came from. And when we put the other building in, well, the natural thing to do is to call it the East Wing. We do have a bottling line that we'll see as we come in on the other side that we do all of our bottling with, but that's basically what you're seeing in here right now is the majority of our storage tanks for holding over wine during harvest.
We just had a truckload of fruit that showed up, so that's what you're seeing over there. They'll be unloading that, pressing it in just a second. It'll go through the hopper there that they'll dump into, and you'll have either one or two simultaneous presses. They hold about 10 seconds. So we can unload a press load of fruit, basically one press load on each, and send that to the chicken tank and send it to. We'll do this. Would go straight into the presses and then go into the tank. So these are going to the tank. They'll be in there for 5 days or so. They'll ferment at a little bit higher temperature. They'll pull all the color out of the skins. And they did these slanted tanks a while back, which are a great invention because when you get the wine back out, you pump the wine out, you have all these skins and whatnot in here. So if you have a flat tank like this one, you would have, up to here, that would be skins once you pumped all the wine out, and you've got to go in this little hole and you've got to start digging. And about 6 hours later, you might have enough in there that you can get in the tank and start kind of shoveling it out, and that goes on for however many tanks you have, which you can imagine that's not a pleasant job. When they did this, the manway's much bigger, it's slanted, so you pump the wine out, and then you get some of those harvest bins that you saw earlier. We'll line them up, start opening the manway, and then all the skins will come out. It's a much easier process than what we used to do.
I'm glad you could come out tonight. And tonight's theme is Harvest Gold. So we have lots of gold-inspired food for you that's expertly paired with the wines that you'll be tasting right now. We have 2 courses that we're going to present to you right now, and then we will journey back to the inside since I have not yet created outdoor air conditioning successfully. We're going to journey back inside, but we'll finish up with the rest of our courses and some very yummy chocolates to finish out your evening. We're going to try this one. Hello? Woo! Yeah. No squeals, that's even better. So first of all, on the tables that are indoors and the tables and right here, I have honey focaccia, honey and fennel focaccia. Which focaccia is a yeast-risen bread that takes several days to make. You almost have to make a sponge with it. And it's very rich with the fennel, so therefore we put fresh Florida palmetto honey on top of it. to balance out the fennel flavors. So that will be available. The first course that I'm going to show you is going to be the salad. Our salad is going to have fresh mixed field greens. We will have some toasted almonds and some shaved red onions, goat cheese, nectarines. Nectarines are in season right now, so they're very wonderful and juicy. And then the vinaigrette, which was also made with the nectarines, white balsamic vinegar, and olive oil. And then our second course will be in a little bit, and it's going to be the fish. We've got golden tile fish coming right now soon. Alright, so for our salad, when you make a mixed green salad with dressing, you always start with the greens in the bowl first, and then you put whatever your accompaniments are. So in this case, I have some toasted almonds. And the almonds you buy in the grocery store, these I found in the salad section. To toast them, I always recommend toasting your nuts because you don't know how long they have been around. So you just put them on a sheet pan into the oven for a few minutes. When you smell them, you need to take them out. That's basically how it goes. And that brings out the oils and freshens them up some. Shaved red onions, very thin. Now I have chèvre, which is a French goat cheese, but really any type of cheese will work. I love goat cheese, so that's why I made it into the salad. If you don't like goat cheese, you could use feta cheese, which is sheep's milk, or you could use a Parmesan cheese, or you could use goat cheese. And we have nectarines. Nectarines are stone fruit, and they happen to be starting to come into season right now. Nectarines are actually in the same family as almonds, so the stone fruit always pair very well with almonds. If you've actually ever opened up a seed that came from a peach or a nectarine or a plum, you'll actually see what looks like an almond on the inside. They all originated from the same family, so they always pair very well together. As I was taught a long time ago in culinary school, God doesn't put seasoning on His food. So you need to season your food yourself. Salt and pepper always. We have some sea salt today. Some cracked pepper. Now the dressing, I use pieces of nectarine and white balsamic vinegar, and I emulsified it. So basically I put it into a blender or a Roku or food processor, turned it on, blended it up, and then while the blender was running, you slowly add your oil, and it comes together, and it doesn't separate. When you dress a salad of this sort or any sort, it's always beneficial to put your salad dressing on the bowl. Okay, and then if it's on the bowl, it drips down to the bottom, and you are able to work in the greens. And so if you accidentally put too much salad dressing in there, then it will sit on the bottom and not on your greens. I know we've all been out, or maybe done it yourself, to a place where you have a piece of lettuce or a piece of green that is just saturated with salad dressing, especially when it comes to romaine and Caesar dressing, and it has that, and you always get that one piece that has more dressing than it is romaine. But by working your greens into the dressing, you can always stop. Leave the remaining of the dressing in the bowl. It seems to work pretty well. This salad would also be fantastic if you put some chicken on it or some fish on it. So you can eat it as it is, or there again, increase it with a little bit of protein. So right now we're going to make everybody a sample of it. So you'll have a chance to taste that, and that is being paired with Sunlush. Okay, so any questions? Start our second course, which is our fish course. And in spirit of tonight's gold harvest, we're going to make mango salsa. And this is going to get paired with one of my favorite fishes of all time, which is golden tilefish. And I'm going to do a very quick demo on how to cut a mango. If you've never cut a mango before, I can guarantee you the first time I cut a mango, I did it wrong. Yes. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to cut the mango, and then we're going to have some delicious golden tilefish and mango salsa available for you. So this mango right here happens to be the species of a Tommy Boy. They do grow in Florida, but most of our mangoes come from South and Central America by chance. And inside this mango, there's a pit that kind of runs like this, from the North Pole to the South Pole. And you cannot cut it across the equator. You kind of have to carve around the outside of this mango. Now, something people don't know about mangoes, it happens to be in the same family as poison ivy. Yes. Don't ask me how I know this. And when the mangoes get ripe, you don't necessarily have to look at the color, because the color on the outside may not change. You have to go by texture, so this is just slightly soft. And you go by smell. And you can smell it. So when you buy them, keep them on your counter, keep them room temperature, and they will continue to ripen. And keep them there until you can smell them. There are lots of gadgets out there that you can use to cut the mango. I'm a sharp knife type of person. When I have a sharp knife, I don't need all the other gadgets that are out there. It's just, it's just what our chefs do. We have sharp knives. But I will show you how to do this. It's not as hard as you may think. And from that, you can process it into, however you want to eat it by itself, or make it into a salad, or put it in a sorbet, any of your other creations. Yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is we'll set this flat, and there's a pit that runs from here to here, and I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to insert it, and I've got to find that seed. I'm going to lift my knife up over that seed and bring it down. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. So you can see I came right over on top of the seed, just like that. And then right here is the pit. Now this right here is still edible. You have a big seed right here. So this is what you would do if you have children. This is their project right here. Is you can take the skin off if you want to with a knife, but most of the time you take the seed and you kind of gnaw the flesh. Or if you were very budget conscious, you could still cut around if you needed to. So there's still lots of meat on there. Now, this right here, this is the tricky part. You can use a paring knife if you feel comfortable. I have my big Sharp Chef knife, and you score You don't cut all the way through, and you definitely do not cut through your hand. You can also do this. If you're afraid, put a towel, so then if you cut all the way through, and we're going to make hatch marks on this, and we basically are going to turn it inside out. It kind of looks like a hedgehog or a porcupine maybe when you're done, and then the pieces come right off. Very simple. See, look, I did not cut through the outside. You can take a paring knife and you just lob off all the little, and they're already perfectly diced for you, just like that. Now, for the fish, it's golden tile fish. Golden tile fish actually is a species that you can't eat the skin. I did get it skinless in this case. If you eat the skin, you have to ask your fishmonger to take the scales off. It's one, like I said, it's one of my favorite fishes. It is a white fish, but it's very meaty and very flavorful. And with this, we made a mango salsa. And the mangoes were so ripe that when we were cutting them, it was almost like pureeing right there in my hand. So we got super ripe mangoes. The salsa also contains a little bit of red onion, a little bit of red pepper, and cilantro, and some lime juice. Very typical, classical, tropical flavors. So we will do that for you in just a moment. Is there any questions that I can answer right now? Okay, just a second.
More about what we're about to eat next. Two, I'm not sure we ever actually told you why we called this evening Harvest Gold or what the significance of that was. But the significance of that is we enter competitions throughout the year, so we might enter 12 competitions throughout the course of a year, roughly. Is that accurate? This year, as follows, probably our whole inception, we won a lot of nice medals. This year particularly, we won a lot of golds. Cassidy, how many golds have we won?
174. Sir.
174. How many double golds?
21, sir.
What does a double gold mean, Janie?
That means all the 4 or 5 judges on the panel have to have agreed that it's a gold medal.
Yeah.
And y'all, I didn't preface you for this one. There's a thing called a best of show. What qualifies for best of show?
That means that you've gotten a double gold and you've gone into a final round of judging, and all of the judges agree that yours is the best one.
At least a dozen of those. At least.
At least a dozen
At least a
of this
dozen
year
of those.
so far. So we've had a very good year in terms of competition. We've done actually very good. You've seen some of the medals over here behind Jeannie and Cassidy that are displayed. There's a lot more in the barrels over there and downstairs in another display case. So I want to congratulate our winemaking team for an excellent job that continues year after year. Thank you very much, and let's give them all a round of applause. Cassidy is going to also tell you about some of our farm partners that are here today.
Some
and
fabulous.
then Jen is going to tell you about our next course.
So we're fortunate to have Long and Scott Farms here. We have a good team. Raise your hand. Long and Scott Farm team. Thank you so much for coming out. So I have to do a little bit more research, but I know that they've been in the community for quite some time. They've been producing some great agriculture. We've all enjoyed it this evening. If you're and you're about to enjoy it on the next course here. Jen's a personal fan, and anything that Jen can produce, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out. I know they have a corn maze, they have some exquisite goods. It's pretty much seasonal, so all year round you got something amazing going on. If you want to talk to them intimately at any time, that would be excellent. We also have some truffles from a local chocolatier, right on a Marsh Road. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Marsh Road. So it's the Belgian Chocolate Cafe, and you can go and get your custom truffles. So we have some really awesome flavors. What's left? It looks like they were just too good to wait. But go ahead and pair those with the cream cherry and the port. And then we have 2 different sources of our local cheeses. So we have some from the farmer's market in downtown Orlando, was it? Winter Garden, excuse me. And then
Chabella cheese.
Chabella cheese, correct. And then we also have an assortment from an authentic certified fromagier from France at Cheesers in downtown Claremont. So please nibble on those if you have some questions on what's that one.
Potatoes. They're actually baby golden potatoes, which have been roasted with rosemary, which happen to come from my garden. And if you've never grown rosemary before, you just take a little tiny bit, and then you will have a whole lot of it. And it grows pretty well. This batch happens to be flowering. You can see some of the flowers still on there. And these potatoes were just roasted in a little bit of herb salt and olive oil, and then I finished them with some butter and some fresh rosemary. And then for the next course, which we're doing this now because this takes a little bit more time, we have some smoked duck and some early harvest corn, actually from Long and Scott Farms, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So please enjoy the potatoes, and this is being paired with...
We're going to pair that with this Enjoyer's Choice. Our newest addition to our portfolio. So we have the Cabernet Sauvignon and the Chardonnay. So we have a big old bin of it here if you want to have a look-see what the new packaging looks like. Jeannie, is there anything that you really want to say about these 2 varietals in particular? We have them both from San Sebastian and Lakeridge. So they're here, and they happen to be black and gold. How convenient.
Yes, for the gold.
For harvest gold, right.
So our Cabernet and Chardonnay, these are not varieties that we grow ourselves, but we have a demand from our customer base for drier red and white wines. We do grow a few white varieties, Stover and Blanc du Bois, but we're the only growers for those varieties, so they sell out very quickly when we release them in November. They're usually sold out by February or March each year. So we look out around the country. Primarily our purchases have been from California, so we're looking for both a Cabernet and a Chardonnay each year that we think our customer base will like and will fit our price point in the marketplace. And so that's what we're presenting now, is the Cabernet Sauvignon and Chardonnay.
Just some chopped, nicely finely chopped parsley.
That we have for you, we have got some of our Florida sweet corn paired with smoked duck breast and truffle oil. And for our sweet corn, like I said, we got an early crop from our friend over at Long and Scott Farms. And your market is going to open on
September 29th
okay, and your corn mazes will begin
on October 3rd, weekend of October 3rd.
October 3rd. So if you've not done the corn mazes, they are amazing and they're fun and
family fun.
Great family fun. For our sweet corn, basically what I did for this, you can buy corn canned or creamed or whatever. You can make it yourself, very, very simple. So once you actually peel it, and something that this wonderful gentleman has told me, so you have the silts that you got to peel off. Each one represents 1 kernel of corn.
Oh, really?
Exactly. So when the tassel on the top gets damaged, the corn on the inside, you'll notice the corn on the inside, and it represents the tassels on the top.
Every silk is hollow. Every silk is hollow, so when the tassel drops the pollen, it goes down that silk all the way to the kernel, and that's what pollinates each kernel. So if you have a stalk of corn that's missing the tassel, the one next to it, if the wind's blowing, the one next to it can also pollinate. But if it's missing a kernel, that's something happened to that silk that didn't feed that kernel just right, didn't pollinate that kernel just right.
Isn't that amazing?
Absolutely. Tell me how not to farm. I didn't know that.
So this part is very easy. There's actually a gadget that you can buy, and it's like a long trowel, and it has a blade in it, and you set it up over a bowl, and it's very sharp blade, and you slide, and it works perfectly. My dad had one for years and years. I would recommend that. So you're only halfway done right now. So you've cut all the corn off. The best part. Turn your knife over backwards, and you go like this. So when you talk about creamed corn, that's where it comes from, on this side right here. And it might be a little messy. So, and then from this, all I did was, I rendered down, I used a little bit of bacon fat and some onions and some garlic, put some heavy cream in there, reduced that down. So I cooked out some of the water from the heavy cream, added the corn, and then we finished it with some fresh basil, also from my yard happens to be. We do have a smoked duck breast for the top. The corn is flavored with a little bit of truffle salt, not those yummy truffles, but where the namesake of those yummy truffles came from, the subterranean mushroom. So a subterranean mushroom called a truffle. They're round, about the size of a golf ball. They are either black or white, depending on what species they are. They go for about $300 an ounce, normally. And yes. So, and the funny story about that is they only grow under certain species of trees, beech trees, B-E-E-C-H. And originally, they would use pigs, because pigs have a high scent. They have a really sensitive
Olfactory.
yes, thank you. But the problem was that the pigs would find them and eat them. So now they've trained dogs to find the truffles, and they're super duper yummy. We've also drizzled the top with a little bit of truffle oil. So they basically infuse oil with some truffle pieces to add a little bit more truffle essence to the top. So please come and help yourself. If you have any further questions, I will be happy to answer them
Thanks,
for
Jen.
you.